Hello, my friends at Hookah.org. It is Paul here with another, I guess you could call it how-to video, though this is a part of the Common Hookah Problems series. This one is a video for help, my hookah isn't smoking, or my hookah is not producing smoke. It's a series of potential problems that could need fixing, the most common of which, if you have everything set up properly, is a lack of heat. As you can see, I've got plenty of heat on my hookah right now, but you should really default to checking out your coals, checking out that you have enough heat for the bowl that you are using and for the tobacco that you're using. And if you are using the right amount, consider using a wind cover. It adds just a little bit of heat concentration, keeps all that heat right there on the bowl, and makes everything just a little bit smokier. Now, the next thing is a little bit more of a problem. Or a little bit more of an actual problem. Excuse me while I take the coals off of this bowl for the next section. This is one of the most common problems. If your hookah is not smoking, it might be that you have a leak. A hookah essentially works as a one-way valve, with the water performing the role of the actual valve, or like the ball bearing in the purge valve. Now, what you need for that to function properly is a good seal all the way from your hose tip straight through to the bowl. Now, if you are getting really, really light, thin smoke and it feels like you're not pulling much air from the hookah, or maybe you can hear that the air's not coming from the bowl, you might have a leak. Now, the best way to check for that is to set up your hookah with no charcoal and no tobacco. Just set it all up, and then put your hand over the top of the bowl and draw from the hose. I don't know if you guys could hear that. There's a little tiny, like, kind of squeak coming from my hookah. That means that there's somewhere, and I believe it's down in the base grommet, just the slightest of leaks. That's not too bad. Now, the issue, it comes when, if you draw from the hose and there's not much resistance, or if you hear your air rushing from, say, the junction here, or somewhere along your hose, or like in the ports, anywhere that there's a seal, that means that you don't have a good seal and your grommets might be wearing out. Now, you can fix this by using electrical tape to make new grommets for your hose or for your base grommet. I don't suggest using it for the bowl grommet because there's enough heat up there that it will eventually loosen the glue and it might vaporize some nasty stuff that you really don't want to be breathing in. In place of a bowl grommet, I suggest a wet paper towel, which you can see we have actually done a how-to video on wet paper towel grommets in the past, and you should definitely check it out. But that's one of the most common issues when it comes to a hookah not smoking properly. Improperly seated or non-functioning seals. Now, another possibility is that your purge valve, which should consist of the cap and the ball bearing could get caught in the top of the cap, which means that it no longer functions. Now, if I put this back on with no ball bearing inside and draw from the hookah with it plugged at the top, there's plenty of airflow. That's a problem. That means that the purge valve is not working properly because the ball bearing is not seating itself and it's not sealing out all that fresh air. Now, that's a major issue when it comes to trying to smoke your hookah. You need everything sealed up, as I said earlier. Now, if your ball bearing is caught in the top, use a hard surface, smack it down. Hopefully that will dislodge. If not, you might have to soak it in a cleaner like Barkeeper's Friend to break up the nasty gunk that might be sticking it in there. Now, that's a pretty comprehensive list of the reasons that a hookah is not producing good smoke or is not producing any smoke. Just to go over them again, it's either a heat management issue where you're not getting enough heat to actually vaporize the glycerin, honey, tobacco, and molasses mixture that is shisha tobacco, so you're not actually getting any smoke, or it is a matter of air getting into your system, getting into your rig from a leak or a stuck purge valve. And hopefully I've helped you remedy some of these issues. If you can think of some other reasons that your hookah might not be smoking properly, please let me know down below in those comments. I check those out as often as I can. I love to see new comments. I love to see new tips and tricks that I might not have figured out for myself. And I would love to do a video that you guys want to see. So let me know what you want to see, and I'll be back in the future with more helpful guides for you. This is Paul once again for Hookah.org saying thank you very much for joining us, and happy smoking.